not all narcissistic people move straight onto a new source of supply. And even those who do move straight onto a new source of supply don't always move on as such. They're not actually over you as such. When it comes to a narcissistic person, they fear rejection, which is a breeding ground for their obsession with you. So if they fear that they can no longer control you, they might find a new source of supply, yet still be obsessed with you. Or if you end the relationship with them, they might not move straight on to a new source of supply. Your rejection of their grandiose facade that they've been selling to you and their illusion that they've been selling to you is a breeding ground for their obsession with you. So many narcissists don't actually move straight on. They become obsessed with you. And this isn't to do with the trauma bond or not having answers. This is because they think, how dare you reject me? Or due to their reality gap, they can't see that you just wouldn't want to be with them. There must be something wrong with you, and they can sort it out easy peasy. Ending a relationship with a narcissist is an extremely challenging thing to do, and the decision to cut ties with a narcissistic person is never a decision to be taken lightly. After enduring the toxic behaviour from a narcissistic person that erodes your confidence and your well-being, it's very difficult to walk away from a narcissistic person. However, when you realise that you need to prioritise your mental and emotional well-being over the destructive relationship that you found yourself in, and you leave, all hell can break loose when it comes to dealing with a narcissistic person. Some narcissistic people do move on to a new supply and leave you well alone. Some fall silent on you, expecting you to go and beg them. Others move on to a new source of supply very close by so that they can keep an eye on you. And some narcissistic people don't move on to a new source of supply. They become fixated on you. Narcissistic people thrive off manipulation and control, and you ending it with them, they experience severe rejection, which creates that obsession. They struggle to accept the ending of the relationship. They struggle to accept that you dare walk away from them, that they're not the best thing that you've ever had, and they go all out to attempt to regain control over the situation. They might just begin to bombard you with excessive and long messages, constantly messaging you because they're wanting your attention. And they usually turn these messages into anything but the original topic of conversation, and they go on and on and on about how good they've been to you and how terribly you treated them. And you can find yourself typing out what seems like essays, trying to explain things to them, and it does not compute within their mind. They're not interested. They've got that reaction and they keep going, and they look to get you going. They look to interfere in your life as much as they possibly can. So they can also begin incessantly messaging your friends and family, either claiming how concerned they are about you and how out of character this is for you and how there must be something wrong with you and how you're going through a bad time and how you might be turning to alcohol or you've cheated on them or whatever it is, to paint you out in a negative light, while the narcissist can claim that they're oh so concerned about you because they're looking to get your friends and your family and their friends and their family on their side, potentially to get flying monkeys to contact you to tell you how terribly you're treating the narcissistic person. They might start monitoring your social media. If you block them, they might start setting up new accounts. So any new friend requests, avoid at all costs. They might get other people to stalk your social media so that they can keep an eye on you. They might begin to monitor your every move. They might move in close by, so they might have trackers on your car or on your phone, or if you have children together, there'll be trackers on their tablets, and they'll insist these tablets or phones go with the children so that they can track you. They'll phone to speak to the children when actually they're just wanting to have those little subtle digs at you. They might want to try and meet up with you one last time, even though they've just sent you a bombardment of messages criticizing, mocking you, judging you, tearing you down, telling you how amazing they are. Then all of a sudden they want to meet up to clear the air with you. They're going to look to spread as many rumors about you as they can, potentially so that they can isolate you from other people, so you feel that you've only got them to turn to, so that they can ruin your reputation, so that they can play the victim in it all. And once they've smeared your name, they are looking to undermine you, not only to those around you, but they will also undermine you to yourself. If you're trying to get a new career off the ground, they're going to go all out to put it down any way they can, while claiming it's only because they care about it. They will also go all out to find a way to blame and shame you for everything that went wrong in the relationship. Nothing was their fault. They did everything they absolutely could for you. And you can often find this pretty unbelievable, because you can stand there thinking, you did what? Because you tried absolutely everything you could think of to make the relationship work, while they caused arguments and created conflict and would never agree to anything and would never resolve anything. Yet they project out onto you and claim that that was all you, and they were the one that was trying to the hardest to make it work with you. So they go all out to blame you. They might come at you with those false promises of change, that if you just give them one last chance, they'll make sure that it works this time. They come at you with those future fakes of that everything that they once promised they would do to you. When you meet a narcissist, they like all the things that you like, and they want the same things as you, and they sell you the illusion that that's what you're working towards together. Yet because it never comes to fruition, you get to a point where you have enough of it always being put off till tomorrow and move on to find your happiness. And then all of a sudden they want to do those things with you again, and they're oh so sorry that you feel that way. So they come at you with those false promises, and we often get sucked back in quite a few times before we actually do leave, and leave for good, because narcissistic people have that charismatic charm, and they're very convincing in the lies and the pity plays that they sell to those around you and to you. So they can come at you with that charismatic charm, so you just can't help but be pulled towards them like a moth to the flame, and then you get burned again. When they do it once and don't take responsibility, or claim I'm sorry if you hadn't, and then they do it again, the behaviour will get worse. They're not taking responsibility. The more you forgive a narcissist, the worse their behaviour gets. However, they will go all out to gaslight you, to make out that you're the one that's the problem. You're the one that's obsessed with them. You're the one that's going a bit crazy. You're the one that's jealous. You're the one that's bitter. Not only will they be gaslighting you, they'll be gaslighting those around you to believe the narcissist and not you, or while they play the victim. They'll be playing the victim to those around you, and they will play the victim towards you about how terribly you've treated them, so you feel guilty and you feel bad for things that you haven't even done. A narcissist will make you feel responsible for their behaviour. They'll make you feel responsible for everything they did wrong. They might come at you with intimidation and subtle threats to coercively control you into living life on their terms. And then as soon as you become assertive and stand your ground and create your boundaries, they play the victim and accuse you of being selfish, being stubborn, being awkward, being difficult, not caring about them. They go all out to harass you any way they can. And that harassment comes under those smear campaigns, those bombardment of messages, wanting to meet up, criticizing you, blaming you, shaming you. They are literally harassing the life out of you, so that when you wake up in the morning, all you've got on your mind is them and what on earth they're going to do next to you. They can harass you online, they can harass you offline. They are looking to exert their power and control over you, so they will intimidate and threaten you, and they will harass you. They will go all out to drag out divorces. Sometimes when you're divorcing a narcissist, the divorce can last longer than a marriage. And as soon as you think you've got somewhere, they're just playing you. They agree to something and you think you're moving on, and then they bring something else out of the hat and you're back to square one. They will agree on childcare arrangements and then they constantly chop and change them. And if you dare to say no to the narcissist, you're the one that's the problem, because they feel entitled to have everything their own way. That no doesn't compute in their mind. They do not reflect. They don't see themselves as the problem. They pin all the blame on you, and they will use children as a method to control your time. They will drop them off late. They will pick them up early. They will constantly rearrange plans. And if you ever try to speak up, they'll accuse you of being selfish and not caring about the children. They might claim that they've moved on and that you need to move on also. Now, this can be a couple of years down the line, and you might have got into a new relationship and they're going to claim that you're the one that needs to move on, like they have. Yet they're the one that's incessantly calling you and messaging you and threatening you and intimidating you. They might have a sudden illness, or a friend or a family member might have a sudden illness. Now, if it's a friend or a family member, it might actually be a genuine illness, so you feel bad walking away from them and not supporting them because you care about them. When you've got to remember, as if it's a family member, they've got other family members supporting them. But a narcissist will suddenly fake an illness to suck you back in, and they can fake terminal illnesses. There's no low they won't stoop to. And then once you're sucked back in, you suddenly find out that this illness isn't true. But it's very difficult to call a narcissist out, because they just play the victim and accuse you of attacking them, and you just feel compelled into feeling bad for them. They do things in such covert, underhand ways that if you try to call them out, they can use it to make you look like the bad person while they play the victim and gain the sympathetic attention. So not all narcissistic people just move on. A lot of narcissistic people get obsessed because they feel entitled to you. This isn't the same as the trauma bond. You can display similar sorts of behaviour as you're messaging them and trying to get communication with them and trying to work things out with them and trying to understand what on earth is happening. Yet you get to a point where you realise there's never going to be any resolution with a narcissistic person. They're not interested in this. They're interested in that attention. And if they can provoke you to make you look like the bitter, obsessed and crazy one, they will, so that they don't have to face their actions towards you, so they don't have to face the consequences of their behaviour. They don't have to work on themselves because they've projected that all over to you. It's nothing to do with them. It's all your fault and all your problem. If anyone has any thoughts on this video, please do add those into the comments for people reading through. Thank you very much to all the returning subscribers, and your continued support of the channel is greatly appreciated. If you are new to the channel, I'm Elizabeth Shaw. This channel is all about narcissistic behaviour, to give you more understanding of the people you might be dealing with within your life, how to handle yourself around those people if you cannot go no contact, and different methods to find what works for you to help you understand and overcome narcissistic and emotional abuse. If you do find the information helpful on the channel, please do subscribe. If you are looking for further help and support in understanding and overcoming narcissistic and emotional abuse, I do have several online guides available, and those teachable links are in the video description. If you're looking for someone to speak to, I have partnered with BetterHelp, and their sponsored link is also in the video description. I do also have a couple of books out on Amazon: 15 Rules to Deal with Narcissistic People If You Cannot Go No Contact, and a Narcissists Handbook, which is the ultimate guide to understanding and overcoming narcissistic and emotional abuse. Go out there and create the day that you deserve, because you do deserve to have an amazing day. Bye.